Welcome to Beyond the Lens, located in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We currently live in Tennessee and we've lived here since 2014, but we've been coming to the Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge area since about 2007. And even then, there's so much that we haven't done. And now it's our goal to try to do something new each time we go. And I will be sharing these experiences with you as we go along. Beyond the Lens is no exception to this. As I mentioned, we had been coming to this area for years and we had never come here. And I thought, why not? It's something new, and that is our goal after all. At the time of this recording, prices ran about $29 per person to get in and be able to do pretty much everything except for the fly ride, which was just an additional $6 add-on. Now, this is similar to what you will see in Disney with their Soarin' ride, but not nearly as cool. I will say that. But for $6, we figured, why not? Let's check it out and try it. So for a one-time deal, I do think it's worth trying. Future though, I will likely just get the standard edition, which gives you everything but the fly ride. And as I mentioned, I do think it's worth trying one time. Never experienced anything like this. It is kind of cool, especially if you don't have Disney to compare it to yet. So getting into what there actually is to do here at Beyond the Lens, there's a lot to do as you walk through the entire museum. As you saw when you first walked in, there were some things to look at, the mirror maze, and then on into the area where you could dance to different styles of music, like 80s, 90s, to see if you get it. And then you walk into the red carpet runway, and it did look like they had a little bit of a leak in the roof, but there had been a lot of rain in the area shortly before this recording, so that's not surprising. But we didn't see any issue with the building and it didn't hinder our experience by any means. So there's a few things that I really love about this museum, which is one, I'm Gen X. Like when I grew up and I was a kid, it was all of this old school type of games. They were just coming out when I was young. And so it was just really fun and cool to see those and to see my kids' reaction to that. And then just to stop and think about how far we have come along with technology, from even something like the phones and the radios with music that we listen to the games. And you'll see that there's a lot of very nostalgic games here that you can play, which is really cool because it's all included in your admission. There's no extra charge for this. You can go in here and just play these games all day long. Whereas if you go to any of the arcade places in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, you're going to spend an arm and a leg to get to go in and play those games. And sure, you get some little paper tickets that you can trade in for some overpriced stuffed animals and stuff, but so what? We didn't have to spend an arm and a leg, and we had fun playing all day long. You'll also see that not only are there the old school video games, but there are some sports games throughout here too, like basketball, baseball, football, and even skee ball. And then there's another area where you can go in and do pictures. It's just total photo ops where, which was kind of fun because where you would see the AI versions everybody was doing of dolls in a box. Well, you can come over here and actually get the real thing. And it's just really, I think, a lot more fun. Now, I will say there are photo ops throughout this entire museum, but I call it out specifically for this area because it really is its sole purpose. And they have a lot of different backdrops, like the Barbie and the G.I. Joe, some tie-dye, I think it's a Nemo theme. And then they even have one that is an optical illusion that you can take your videos or photos of and then flip it on its side, and it gives that optical illusion. So just a really fun area. And speaking of fun, my youngest jumped right into this, took to it like a fish to water, loved the role playing, and I love the sign that he picked out, "Know It All" for his crime. I didn't pick that out, he did. And then he went on over to play the part of the President of the United States, and of course he had to get into the right pose for this too. And then the next area was about Bigfoot, and there was a couple of games that you could play in here. And then they had a little story time area where you could sit and listen to things that were going on that kind of prefaced the next area, which is where you walked into, and they had different molds and height charts and things where you could learn about Bigfoot and the size and just some things about Bigfoot. And then you kept on walking into another area, and you'll see this here in just a moment, where you had some additional photo ops and there were just some things going on in the room. And then it was on to more sports, the first of which was baseball. And you have to realize that my youngest son has been playing baseball for years and has practiced quite a bit on his form, where my older son has never really been much of a fan of sports. He's more mechanically inclined and loves to work on cars, but that didn't stop them being brothers and the competition and banter that went on between them and just giving each other a hard time. And as a mom, I found it to be quite hilarious. And then on to the next area, more basketball. And then one of my favorite things to play ever is skee ball. And I probably spent way too long on this than I should have, but it was so fun. And last but not least, football. This has become my youngest son's greatest passion as of late, especially since he's gotten into high school, so he was loving this part of it too. And then there are two last main areas after this. One is the space station area where you can go in and check out some space stuff and interact with it. And then they have a ball pit area, though they didn't have enough balls for the ball pit that day, so that may be something that you want to ask about when you first get there. But honestly, this was the only thing that we saw wrong during the entire visit. So just depending on if that's important for you for your visit or not, may not be a deal breaker. And then on to the video games. And this is a different type of video games where they had the very nostalgic ones at the beginning. These are more like VR and ride type of video game. They didn't keep them stationed, but all you have to do is go out to the front desk and tell them that you want to play one of those and they'll get you set up. And again, these are things that are included in the price of your admission. Just remember, the only thing that you're going to pay extra for as far as the activities in this museum is the fly ride. One final thing I would like to mention is that this really can be an all-day activity. So if you wanted to leave and go get something to eat and come back to it, that is something they allow. So you can leave and come back as long as you have your ticket. If you like this video and found it useful, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you need help planning your Smoky Mountain vacation, you can get started by visiting us on the web at dreamversetravel.com.